Hi there, and welcome to the Call to Cinema. My name is Aaron, and we're doing a special Millcreek edition of Reviewed and Ranked today, and we got a lot to look at here. I initially had planned to hold this one off until the Magnum PI DVD set came in, but I'm concerned it may have gotten stuck in customs a bit, so we're going to go through with everything else here, and I include the Ultraman Mobius one, which I got last month later on its own. So I wanted to include it into an actual review and rank, so it made it over to this one. But there's some really great stuff to look at here today, and I'll be ranking these as the sets themselves, and not as the movies in particular, because there is over 27 films here to look at. I'll go through each one kind of quickly and give you an idea on kind of my thoughts of each of these releases, and we will go from there. First off is one that I honestly thought would have got released a lot earlier. And the only reason I can think that maybe took a while is because it was from Rogue Pictures. But that is Assault on Precinct 13. As far as remakes go, this is definitely one of the higher quality remakes that I've seen. Ethan Hawke is really good in this, as is, of course, Lawrence Fishburne. John Leguizamo is fantastic. I actually really love this film. And I went into this movie, when I initially saw this one, very, very skeptically. Assault on Precinct 13 is one of my favorite Carpenter films, definitely up in the upper echelon of Carpenter's releases. So going in to see them do a remake of this one, I wasn't sure how I was going to take it. But I watched it back in the day and I liked it. I watched it again now and I realized it does stand the test of time. It is one that I actually really like. So we're starting off really strong with these releases here. The next one I have a lot of fun with, and it has a fantastic little cast, and that is Heart and Soul. This is one of those kind of light comedies, starring what's kind of the earlier kind of Robert Downey Jr. pre Iron Man. But I dug the hell out of this. We got a great cast in this one here. We got Kira Sedgwick, Tom Sizemore, Charles Grodin, who's always fantastic, Alfre Woodard, the wonderful Elizabeth Shue, who is always enigmatic in any film she's in. And I just thought this was a really nice comedy. This is something that you have at home that you can sit back and watch with the family, or you have or if some relatives coming in. It's not always going to be some hardcore horror stuff. So those two are actually kind of decent that way. You got the Solid Piece of which is a cool actioner, and Heart and Soul, which is a really cool little film. Which brings us to King Ralph, which is another one of those light comedies. John Goodman and Peter O'Toole star in this one here. And I dig this. This is a silly movie. But the opening sequence of this, the reason he becomes the king, it is really good. It is really fun. I love John Goodman. I think he's a really charismatic actor. Pretty much across the board. I don't think I've ever not liked the performance of John Goodman, even if I haven't liked some of the films that he's been in. This one, though, I did like. And it actually sets up better for me than it did when I initially saw it. So that's always a plus. And we got the George Clooney double feature here, The American and Leatherheads. Now, for me, out of these two right here, just for the mood that I was in at the time, The American kind of was the standout here. Leatherheads is decent with George Clooney, Renee Zellweger, and John Krasinski. But I guess I was in the mood for those for that action type of film. So this one was definitely the standout of the two for me. On the next one, these were pretty much on even keel. I like Cross My Heart and Pure Luck. And that being said, I'll be honest, I do have a blind spot when it comes to Martin Short. I really do like a lot of his stuff. And the fact that he put Annette O'Toole in Cross My Heart, that was a certainty that I was going to like it, because I have a huge crush on Annette O'Toole. Because I think she is absolutely stunning to this very day. Next up is the one that I said was kind of the dark horse, the secret one here. And that is Ultraman Mobius. This was kind of the anniversary season for Ultraman. I think it's the 40th anniversary. Now, don't go big on the anniversary aspect of it. You do get to see all the Ultraman brothers show up in this series. But the fights in this are really good. The music's fantastic for this one. I gotta say, I really like the theme for this version of Ultraman Mobius, of Ultraman in general. I really, really enjoyed it. I thought this was fantastic, and it's one that I definitely would recommend. It doesn't just have Ultraman. The Ultraman here runs, I think it was 50 episodes. Yeah, 50 episodes, but it has 4 specials as well. So you get Ultraman Mobius the series, you get Ultraman Mobius and the Ultra Brothers, you get Ultraman Mobius side story Ghost Rebirth, Ultraman Mobius side story Armored Darkness, and Ultraman Mobius side story Akira Saga. So think of side stories. If you're like an anime fan of like as an OVA, that type of thing. They run like around 40, 50 minutes long, and they do like they tell a really cool little story to add on to what you've 50 episodes that you've already got. Now, Ultraman Mobius and Ultra Brothers is an 83-minute long film, though. That is an actual film, so you get a complete series, a film, and 3 side stories here. So that's definitely a plus. Now it's getting into the ones that makes it a bit harder because they are 10 film releases. I have been a really big fan of these here releases, and we'll start out with the Through the Decades 10 film collection from the 2000s. So we got on here Nurse Biddy, 21 Grams, Baby Mama, One Night at McCool's, Spy Game, State of Play, The Emperor's Club, The Hitcher, Cry Wolf, The Shape of Things. So right out the gate, Cry Wolf, The Hitcher, like we're definitely standing as for a horror fan like me. One Night at McCool's, I actually really dug. Baby Mama, I reviewed a few months ago. I found it was a good comedy, and it's one of those that definitely stands up. But it's not like overwhelming, but the actors are really good in this one here. State of Play I enjoyed with Russell Crowe. Actually, I enjoyed all the films on this release to two different degrees. So we'll get into like where these rank a little bit later. And we followed it up with the 2010s. So we got a few different ones on here as well. We got MacGruber on here. We got The American, which I mentioned earlier. The Dilemma. The Adjustment Bureau, Your Highness, love that film. The Thing, the prequel, which I enjoy the story, but I really wish you would have went for the practical effects on that film. Contraband is here. I've always liked that film, actually. We got Safe House, Seeking a Friend for the End of the World, and we got Black Sea with Jude Law and Ben Mendelsohn and the last. So again, another really, really solid release. You can't go wrong with these Through the Decade releases, by the way. So how do I rank these? It makes it extremely hard because I did really enjoy a lot of the films on here. But I'm going to be honest, and when it comes to my ranking, there's always got to be a last place. And for me, that's going to be right now is going to be the George Clooney double feature, The American and Leatherheads. I really got to watch Leatherheads again, though. I was very tired when I watched the film, so I don't think I gave that one a fair chance. So that'll get another watch for me. And but something's got to go last, guys, and that I'll put this one here in last place. Next is really, really hard, but I am going to go with it's gonna. Some people are gonna be shocked, but it won't be, with King Ralph. I really do like this film. I think it's a really fun film, but there's a lot of really solid releases there to talk about. So we're gonna put King Ralph next up. And we're going to follow that up with Heart and Soul. Again, I really enjoyed this film, but some of these here just are so good that I have to put them ahead. But Heart and Soul, do I recommend those films? Yes, I do. And next up is Martin Short's double feature. I know a lot of you guys will probably put this a little bit lower, but this is me. This is my review and ranking, and I'm Canadian. I'm a huge Martin Short fan. I grew up with Second City Television, SCTV, and I dug this stuff, so there you go. Up next is when it gets harder, because we're down to the last 4 releases. We got 3 box sets and 1 single release, and I'm going to put the single release here right now, because the box sets are fighting for number 1, though I'm pretty sure I know what number one is going to be. This was Assault on Precinct 13. As for the single releases, this definitely gets my high recommendation of something to pick up. It's a really good film, and I definitely recommend it. Now, when it comes to second and third place, it basically comes down to me literally counting which of the films I'm going to rewatch more is what it's going to come down to. And the thing is, I know on one of these here, there's a film that I've already rewatched. Actually, there's 2 I've already rewatched. But the second one is really good as well. So I guess in third place, and this is really hard, where I'm going to put the Through the Decades 2010s. For a lot of you guys, this is probably going to be higher up. There's some great films on here. The thing, you know, like barring the special effects, it's still really, really solidly done. MacGruber, you know, it's become more of a comedy classic now. I'm just a really big fan of Contraband. I think that really gets underrated. Your Highness is on here. The Adjustment Bureau with Emily Blunt and Matt Damon's on here. The fact that there's a ton of good films on there. So I put second place with Through the Decades to 2000s. And the reasoning behind this is because, and I went back and forth, but I know I will watch The Hitcher, the remake, and I think it's a solid remake too, by the way, many times. Cry Wolf, not a great slasher film, but you know what? It just hit me as one of those films that hit me now. So I've actually watched this twice since I got it. I did like Baby Mama as well. We got One Night at McCool's here. The State of Play is here. 21 Grams with Sean Penn, Benicio del Toro, and Naomi Watts is here. But yeah, so this one had to go in second place. And it was an easy pick for first place, though, for me, because this is just such a well-done set. I was a tiny bit disappointed that they didn't use a slipcover for this one. This is the first time I've seen them not use it. But I guess going on forward, like, they've done a lot of slips in that. So it's what's inside that counts. And in this case, what's inside is pretty incredible. And it does come with the usual Ultraman booklet as well. So you get to see the different Ultraman here. And the guys, you know, which is the name of the group, their vehicles and such. There is a complete, like, episode guide here as well. So, yeah, I've got to say, easily, my top pick for this month, just because it's so quality. Now, there's a ton of great stuff on here, and just to go over it one more time for everybody. In 8th place, we got the American Leatherheads. In 7th place, we have King Ralph. In 6th place, we have Heart and Soul. In 5th place, we have the Martin Short double feature of Cross My Heart and Pure Luck. In 4th place, we have Assault on Precinct 13. In 3rd place, we have Through the Decades 2010s. In 2nd place, we have Through the Decades 2000s. And in 1st place, we have Ultraman Mobius, the series. I'm pretty sure that it would have been a tie between Mobius and Magnum PI, the DVD set, for first place if I had received it yet. But, you know, my post office can be a little bit, like, slower sometimes. And that being said, you know, I would literally put the Through the Decade sets almost as a tie, to be bluntly honest with you. They're so good. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me here today. Thank you, Millcreek, for sending out some banger releases. I truly appreciate it, because there's been some times when I've been a bit stressed out recently with the recent events, but I can sit back and just put on, like, some Ultraman or one of those or one of the Millcreek releases, and I just relax. And I've been doing that recently. I've been falling back on Ultraman Mobius. I've been falling back on some of these Through the Decade sets and just enjoying the hell out of them. So it took me a little bit longer than I probably initially intended to do. One, because I was waiting on one that I'll review once it comes, but also because I was really enjoying the releases this time. I sat back to watch Assault on Precinct 13. I knew I was going to have a good time. I enjoyed it before. I got to watch the Through the Decades again. Baby Mama I'd seen, like, more recently, so that was kind of one that I skimmed over, to be honest with you, so that I could actually go into some of the ones that I hadn't seen in a while, like some of the films here, like I hadn't seen 21 Grams in a while, I hadn't seen State of Play in a while, I hadn't seen The Hitcher in a while, I hadn't seen Cry Wolf. I hated Cry Wolf the first time I saw it, and I actually enjoyed it for what it was, because I could go into Cry Wolf this time, like, saying, okay, this is not meant to be, like, the most fantastic slasher, but knowing where it was going, there was something really cool about it, and it's like, I could double feature this with this movie, which I can't tell you without giving away the ending. I can double feature this with this movie, and when I find a film, and I'm a big person for, like, double, triple featuring. I have like when I'm with my cousin, or my kids come, or I'm visiting family, or I get some friends that are around. I do a lot of these double, triple features, like, kind of planned movie nights. That's what I like to do. And when I find a film that I know is going to fit perfectly into like a movie night, then that's a plus. That almost puts skyrockets to the top for me. My name is Aaron. This has been the Call to Cinema. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, and do all that jazzy stuff. All the links, if you're interested, are down below. I just put some new merchandise on the merch store. You can now get a Brutally Honest t-shirt, and I will put the link down for Millcreek's website there, because I really think you should go out and grab some of these stuff. If you're an Ultraman fan, you probably already got this, but if you haven't, pick it up. Like 100% pick it up. These Through the Decades releases have been great watches, and especially if you want to grab some films, like grab some 10 packs of films, sometimes 11 packs of films. You can just sit back and have some films to watch, especially right now. We're in we're in the middle of summer. A lot of people go up to their cabins to go out of town for a bit. You grab some of these like Through the Decades packs. You got a bunch of movies just to turn on and watch at your leisure. You could be out, spending your evening, whether you fish or you're just going out like relaxing and at a beach, and you come home and we come to your cabin and you just put in one of the discs and you just let the films play. You're set to go. Have a great evening there, and I'm gonna see you soon right here in the Cult of Cinema.